First question: how do you use life experiences to your advantage as an actor?
Oh man, there's been projects I've done where in my life I can't really necessarily relate to, so I have to try to create imagination and try to create this world for that character. But there was a project I did not too long ago with a friend, and it's a whole crime drama thriller type of film, which I can't say too much about, but there was a situation when I was about 14 years old. So I grew up in South Omaha, which is what we would consider back home we consider as like Little Mexico. And you have like North Omaha, which is like pretty much where all the black people. West Omaha is all the rich white people or whatever. But I stayed in South Omaha, and I was always that knuckle kid, just messing around and hanging around with like the bad kids. And I was in a situation where a friend of mine sister had a boyfriend that was in a gang, and they got me and a few of my other friends involved in a situation. I got held hostage for 3 hours. During that 3 hours, I had my mom. I heard my mom just trying to
Wait, and for those who are not catching on, he's actually talking about a real story, not a movie.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, this is a true story. So, in those 3 hours, my mom kept coming back and forth to the house. Like I could hear her screaming, and it was scary. But at the same time, the only thing that I can think about is like my mom. I wasn't even thinking about my life. I was just literally thinking about my mom and trying not to cry because I didn't want any attention on me. Like, so I was like, every time they kept beating me up, kept holding the tears because I didn't want to cry and them just like beat me up or anything.
And they're holding you where?
They held me in a garage for 3 hours in the back of a house. And everyone in that house knew me and my friends was in there. They were trying to look for some guns and drugs, and we had no idea. To fast forward it, I ended up getting out the situation. Someone told the leader that I had nothing to do with it at all. But with that situation, I applied it to a role that I did last year for the character that I was playing in this movie, because that film deals with a lot of like drugs, and crime and gangs. And so I use that as a motivation or a platform foundation to try to build my character and put myself in that world. I was always around that world, but I was never really in the world of gangs and stuff, but I was like on the outside looking in type of thing. So yeah, that's...
So you going through this crazy kidnapping situation. Boom, it's over. You're an adult now. You're moving on. You're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're doing a film, and it requires you to tap into some of that anxiety and like maybe that fear or whatever you felt, right?
Yeah.
How does that feel when you have to open that old wound? Is it something that you really look forward to, or do you like kind of dread doing those things?
At this point in my life, I'll keep it 100 with you. I'm cool with it. I've grown to just accept it, like it's part of my life. After, like the first 3-5 years after it happened, and it's crazy, like hearing you say the word kidnap, like I was like, not even kidding you, I don't think I ever really looked at it that way till now. Like hearing you say kidnap, like, oh, I guess I was kidnapped. Like that's crazy. I've never said the word kidnap to anybody. I just said I was held hostage, which is still the same thing. But yeah, that just kind of amplified it more in my head. Yeah. After like the first 3 to 5 years, I was very scared and traumatized by it because people kept like, oh, so and so's gonna come looking for you, yada yada, this, that, and the third. And I was like, dang man, like I had to watch my back. It got to the point that my mom even sent me away because she was in fear that there was gonna be an attack on our house, and she didn't want me there to protect my sister and her, and also protect me as well. But now it's just kind of like it's. I kind of look at it as like a cool story to share with people, because when people look at me, it's like, oh, this nice guy Blair, which is cool. But then I tell that like, wait, what? You were what? And I'm like, yeah, man, like Omaha, Nebraska, it gets crazy out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the process of actually tapping into that situation and applying it to the current role? Is it more so you just take a few seconds, put yourself back into that room as the 14-year-old who wanted to escape, or is it just more so just the mere thought of it gets you excited, or not excited, but you get what I'm saying, anxious?
Yeah. So for that situation, and for the movie in particular, for me as an actor, I always hear a lot of actors say it, they have to take this long time to process into things. And the people that really, really know me, I'm not gonna lie, respectfully, I'm low-key kind of crazy. Because the conversations I have with some of my close peers, that honestly, it doesn't take me much to tap into a certain situation. At least for me, it doesn't. So I just thinking about it and just trying to put myself in that situation. And what's funny is that I don't put myself in Blair's mind when I was 14. I actually reversed the roles and put myself into the person that held me hostage, because the 14-year-old Blair was scared. So for this role that I played, that character's not scared. Right. He's tough. He still, has a heart, but he is tough when he needs to be. So I actually put myself in the eyes of the person that held me hostage, because he had to be tough to held all these kids hostage because they were looking for drugs and guns. So, yeah.